The giant-sized lizard known as Godzilla makes his return to the big screen. After 16 years, y'all remember the film starring Matthew Broderick that came out in 1998. I'm sure there's some of us that would like to forget that one. Is this better than 1998's Godzilla? Well, yes. Now, I walked out of this film really liking it. I didn't love it, but I really liked it. I really believe it was because of last year's Pacific Rim, which was the reason that they decided to reboot Godzilla. Because Pacific Rim did what 1998's Godzilla failed to do and 2007's Cloverfield failed to do. Although I kind of liked Cloverfield. Pacific Rim brought back the giant monster movie franchise. And producers thought, well, since they did well with Pacific Rim, let's bring back Godzilla. And it did not disappoint. The special effects were great. The build-up to when we finally saw Godzilla was incredible. The battle scenes in the big city when Godzilla fights these evil monsters is great. But my biggest problem with those scenes is that they do too many cutaways. They don't show the fight too much. They show little bits of it, and they show the men on the ground, and nobody wants to see the men on the ground. They want to see Godzilla battling out with these monsters that look almost similar to the Cloverfield monsters. I mean, maybe that was the idea that came up with, what if Godzilla duked it out with the Cloverfield monster? That would be a battle. Why didn't they make a movie out of that? But I digress. As for the acting, Bryan Cranston was great. Now here's a little bit of a spoiler. He's only in it for a half hour. Now, some people say he was the only good thing in the film. I disagree. Bryan Cranston was great, but he wasn't the only good thing. Well, I don't know why they didn't use... Why was he killed a half hour into the movie? Why wasn't he throughout the whole film? Maybe he would have served the movie more. Aaron Taylor Johnson, who plays his son and a soldier, is also good. I mean, okay, he wasn't as good as Cranston, but he does best what he was given. But the problem is the scenes when he shows him looking at the monster, he never really sells it that he's looking at something big. He never really sells those scenes. I mean, he tries his best to sell it, but he never really does. But for the other scenes, he was pretty good. Elizabeth Olsen was good as his wife in the film. It's kind of interesting that in this film, him and Elizabeth Olsen play husband and wife, but in the next Avengers film, they play brother and sister. Oh, how weird is that? Ken Watanabe was good as a scientist who comes up with a solution that Godzilla's here to stop these evil other monsters. It's amazing how he even arrives at that conclusion. It's really amazing. Maybe it's just a theory. David Stratham is also good as the military guy who will not risk a lot of people's lives on a theory. I also really like the way the movie tries to portray like it's really, really happening. I mean, it doesn't try to look ridiculous and silly, unlike 1998's Godzilla. This one really tries to sell it like it's really happening. I mean, just the effects don't look see-through-ish at all. I mean, like I said, the battle scenes were good. And also the reaction of the people were good. I mean, except for Aaron Taylor Johnson, who doesn't really... Well, okay, I'm not going to get into that again. All in all, this was an entertaining film. I liked it, but I didn't love it. It's not something I want to go out and buy. I own Pacific Rim. That was good enough for me. So I give Godzilla an 8 out of 10. Bye.